Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here for our second episode of the Living on Lemonade podcast. Now, I realized after I finished editing the first episode that I didn't even tell the backstory on the Living on Lemonade idea, which I think I'll tell you really quickly. So this past summer, we bought a new boat. Our old one was destroyed in a storm, but we were able to find a new one just like it in northern Michigan. So instead of trailering it back to Canada where we live, we decided to drive it around the Great Lakes. So it was in Lake Michigan. So we got to drive it up and over through the Straits of Mackinac and down through Lake Huron, which was super cool. Now, while we were, on vacation, it was kind of like our honeymoon because we got married in May. We made a few stops, and one of them was Mackinac Island. Now, if you've never been there, I highly recommend it. It was such a fun such a cool place. There are no vehicles allowed on the island except for maybe an ambulance, a couple emergency vehicles, fire truck, but the rest is all horse-driven. So even to collect the garbage, they use horse-driven, what do you call it? Um, they've got trailer things or big anyway, I can't think of words. But it was just such a cool experience to be on an island with no vehicles, just lots of bikes, and it's like stepping back into time because the buildings were all super old too. There's an old fort and lots of different places that you could explore and tour, which is super fun. So we ended up spending 3 nights there. And getting back to the lemonade, I spent a lot of time drinking lemonade this summer. I'm not really an alcohol drinker, but I love a good lemonade. So pretty much every place that we went, if we went out for dinner, I would usually have lemonade and a water. So one morning while we were on Mackinac Island, I was I just had a couple quiet moments, not really thinking about too much. And then the thought occurred to me, it just kind of popped in my head about how I've been kind of living on lemonade this summer. Like I've been drinking a lot of lemonade. And then I thought, "Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be a cool name for a podcast?" Because when you think making lemonade from lemons and it's been a difficult year for me over here, trying to make the best of it and just move through the grief and whatever else I'm feeling, but it just kind of I thought, living on a lemonade, I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, that is the story behind the title of this podcast. Now, today I wanted to share a body scan meditation for you. So, if this is new for you, just to give you a quick background so we can dive in, this is basically to increase your awareness on sensations in your body and how it's feeling, and helping to identify how stress feels in your body. So, if you're not even particularly aware of how stressed you are, or if you're stressed, this is a good way to not only take a moment to connect back into your body, because we largely live in our heads in Western society. So it's important to take those quiet moments, focus on our breath. That's kind of the first step. If you need a little bit of extra support for your nervous system, put your hand over your heart, kind of connects you back into your body. And then just doing a scan from head to toe or toe to head, and seeing how your body feels, and what you can do to kind of stretch it out or release tension. Sometimes it's just a matter of you're clenching muscles you're not even aware of and just releasing that. So this is just a nice little meditation to help you do that. And other than that, I hope it's really relaxing for you, and starts to or adds to your tool belt of practices and tools for managing stress and life. So I hope you enjoy, and we will talk soon. So we're going to take a couple moments. We're going to settle in, whether you want to sit, lay, however you want to get comfortable. You can do eyes open, eyes closed. I usually have eyes closed for meditation, but that's kind of my preference. You want to wrap a blanket around you, however you want to be comfortable. And I want you to bring your attention to your breath. Make sure that your breath is nice and relaxed. If you want to just test it as you're getting used to this practice, put your hand over your heart. What's your body saying? What's it doing? Feel your heartbeat, or just be aware. You can feel your heartbeat without your hand too, but it's a nice indicator if you feel disconnected. So bring your attention to your breath. I want you to do some deep, slow breaths. Find your rhythm, whether it's 4 in, 6 out, or 8 out, if you can do it that long, or 6 in, 8 out. Settle in nicely. We're going to do a scan of our whole body from head to toe. So starting with top of our head, think about your forehead. Notice if it's relaxed or if it's kind of crunched up. If you feel tension, try and consciously release it. We're going to relax our entire bodies. We're starting with the top of our head. Once your forehead is relaxed, bring it down to your eyebrows and your eyes. How do they feel? Are they relaxed? Now we're going to come down to our cheekbones and our nose. And again, as we go through this, if you feel any tension, how can you release it? Maybe you need to give it a little wiggle, like when you're first going to sleep. You know, when you get those little jolts of energy, maybe you just need to release it a little bit that way, consciously. Find whatever feels comfortable to you. Find your way to release any tension that you're feeling so that you're fully relaxed in that area of your body. Next, we're going to move down to our mouth and our jaw. If you've had a stressful day or you're going through a stressful season in life, you might feel some tension in your jaw. I think a lot of us hold tension there from stress. So if you feel tension, just consciously relax it. Like you're just melting. We're slowly melting our body from top to bottom. Maybe the relaxation opens your mouth just a little bit so your lips aren't fully together, but you feel nice and relaxed, whatever that feels like to you. Next, we're going to move down to our neck. Notice how your neck feels. Maybe you need to do a little bit of slight movement to each side. The more we can relax into our body, the more we can listen to it. So if something feels like you should move it or stretch it a little bit, just go with it. It doesn't have to be a thing, just feel into it and try it and see how that feels after. I know for myself, I hold my stress in my neck, shoulders, and my upper back. So that's one I'm definitely aware of. I'm kind of doing a scan. After your neck feels nice and relaxed and you're stretched out a little bit, we're going to come down to our shoulders. So notice where your shoulders are sitting. Do they feel like they're up around your ears? If they do, you probably hold a lot of stress there. So be very conscious of it. And I want you to consciously bring your shoulders down away from your ears. Just let them slump and relax as much as possible. Maybe you need to stretch them a little bit out. Do a couple shrugs. Just any kind of internal, intuitive movement. Whatever your body tells you, that's what it needs. And next we're going to look at our arms. How do your arms feel? Are you holding any tension in your muscles? If you're sitting, do you have them to the side, kind of on the ground a little bit? Do you have them resting on your lap, by your side? If you're laying down, are they flat by your side? Or do you have them spread out a little bit? Be a little bit like a starfish. Whatever's comfortable for you. Let them melt into the floor or your legs. And at your elbows, do you want your arms straight? Do you need to bend them a little bit? We hold certain positions a lot in the day for typing. Maybe you want to do kind of the counter movement. Bend your elbows a little bit. Maybe turn your hands, your forearms up. Which, as I say that, let's move down to our hands as well. How do your hands feel? I know it's one of the body parts we use a lot every day. Eating, doing work, whether it's physical or at a desk. How are your wrists? Would small circles help? Kind of rotate your wrists both ways. Spread your hands, your fingers out maybe a little bit. Kind of stretch your fingers. And then when you feel done with that, just fully relax them. Let them melt into wherever they're sitting. As we move down, we're going to go into our chest this time. Right into that heart space that we were holding earlier and supporting ourselves. How do you feel? If your chest feels a little tight, focus on your breath. Activate that parasympathetic nervous system. Remember, as long as you're breathing out, exhaling longer than you're breathing in, you will stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest state. Think about your back as well. So your chest, your upper back, your shoulders. How are they feeling? If you're holding tension, how can you stretch and release it and relax that area? As we continue to move down to our stomach area now, and our mid back. How's that feeling for you today, right now? Can you feel your body digesting, gurgling a little bit? Just listen in a little bit. I think most people, we don't spend enough time noticing these things. Those little processes our body does when we're relaxed that we're not even thinking about. But it's beautiful to notice. Can you feel your belly expanding on an inhale? Contracting on an exhale. Maybe take a couple moments and take some extra deep breaths. When you inhale into your belly first, expand it, and then as you continue to inhale, bring it into your chest as well. So belly first, up into your chest, until your lungs and your belly feel full. And then on the exhale, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to let it out of your chest first, and then finish with letting it out of your belly. This type of breathing, this full breathing, optimizes your lungs, and by breathing into your belly as well, you're kind of gently massaging your organs too, which is super nice. So do that maybe 3 times consciously. Full breath into your belly, up into your chest, and then exhale, letting it out of your chest. And then out of your belly. Notice how that feels. Notice if it helps to relax your belly too. If you've been feeling a little anxious, this might just give you a little relaxation there. Put it at ease. Now we're going to move down to our intestinal area and our hips. I want you to just take a moment and notice them. If you're feeling any tension, relax. If you're on your back and your hips are tight, we do a little bit of movement. You could bring your knees up. You could bring your feet up, have your knees bent. You could do a gentle like a windshield wiper motion. Again, if you're laying down. If you're sitting up, you can do a little bit of a twist. That feels good. See what your body needs. It'll tell you. And then just release it. If you struggle with that, just imagine in your head what the tension would look like. Kind of use your imagination and then see it washing away. Like how the waves retreat back into the lake or the ocean. Let your tension melt away back into the water. And notice how that feels. Whatever feels good for you. There's lots of ways to do this. And after your hips, we're going to bring our attention to our thighs and our knees. Feel the tension melt away. Do any movement you think they might need to maybe stretch out a little bit. If you're sitting on the floor, maybe take a moment, and if you're cross-legged, maybe put your legs out in front of you. Just let them melt into the floor. If you're laying down, let your legs melt into whatever bed or the floor. Just let go of any tension that you feel. Next, we're going to move down just below our knees to our shins and our calves, down to our ankles. We're going to do the same thing. If you feel any tension or excess energy, maybe do a little movement and then just fully relax your muscles. And lastly, take notice of your ankles, your feet, and your toes. If they need a wiggle, or a few circles, circle your ankles both ways. So whatever you need to do, kind of let out any extra energy that's sitting there. A little stretch. If you have to wear shoes all day, it might feel nice. Even to bend down if you're sitting, or, well, if you're sitting in a chair, you could bring one leg up and just use your hand and actually kind of push back on your toes. Give a little stretch. Sometimes that feels nice. You'll feel it in the arch of your foot. That can feel nice to kind of give a little stretch for maybe 3 to 5 seconds, and then release it. Let your foot completely relax. Maybe your toes get tense. Maybe you want to just use one of your fingers and just kind of bend your toes one at a time. Just a very conscious awareness of each toe. And then just
when that feels good. Let's bring our awareness back up to our heart. See how we feel. See how our breathing, our heart rate has changed since the beginning. You want to put your hand to your heart or just be aware. Kind of look inward. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back to the present moment.